Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. This morning, Friday morning on the 28th of March. We're getting close to April now, aren't we? I want to talk to you today about Britain has become, or is becoming, the only G7, that's the top 7 industrial countries in the world, unable to make its own steel. Now, you may think, well, what are you worried about? But we need steel for our defence. And Starmer is putting us in this situation at the moment where he's stating that we're going to be backing Ukraine and with France and Germany. And we've told Trump that we are going to boost our spending on defence. But where are we going to get our steel from if we can't make it ourselves? It's a worrying. It's maybe something that didn't occur to you before, but it is a worrying situation. Now, why are we in this situation where we're not going to be able to make our own steel? Well, British Steel has announced plans to close its 2 blast furnaces in Scunthorpe. It's the only 2 we've got, making Britain, as I say, the only G7 country unable to manufacture its own steel. Jingeye is the Chinese steel group that owns all our steel making in Britain. How did we get into such a situation where China owns our steel and creates our steel for us? They've blamed the Jingeye Chinese corporation, has blamed Donald Trump. Well, of course, as it announced plans to shut key operations, putting up to 2,700 jobs at risk. It said the imposition of tariffs from Trump have made the blast furnaces and steel-making operations no longer financially sustainable. The closures signal the end of steel production in UK after more than 150 years. Tariffs 25% tariffs on steel and aluminium imports to the USA came into effect earlier this month. Jingeye said it had invested more than £1.2 billion to maintain operations since 2020, but said losses have ballooned to around £700,000. I'll say that again. Losses for steel making in Britain has amounted now to balloon to around £700,000 per day. Per day. The closure will signal the end of virgin steel production in Britain. Following the end of the primary steel making in Port Talbot last year, when that was closed, Britain had been producing alloy since 1850, steel alloy, with the metal playing a key role in the Industrial Revolution. It's our history gone, it's our future of making our own defence equipment. What parallel does that put us in? Virgin steel is produced directly from raw materials, such as iron and coke. The government has been pushing for producers to switch to green electric furnace production, which recycles existing steel. Critics have said this will make Britain more reliant, more reliant on imports from abroad. Well, of course it will. This idea that they keep pushing green at the expense of Britain's defence, to blame Trump is out of it. Okay, and I'll explain some of the tariffs in a few moments, but his tariffs didn't help. But this keep pushing and pushing for these companies that make our steel to go away from making it with what they've got, their furnaces at the moment, their blast furnaces at the moment, and turn them into greener electric ones, which will put another strain on our electricity production. And how do we produce electricity? Think about that. Now, the national security gravely threatened is the title I've put here, and it says Britain's steel decision will raise concerns about national security as ministers seek to ramp up domestic defence manufacturing. I've been very sort of gentle there, and I've said we'll raise concerns about our ability to ramp up domestic defence manufacturing. Well, if we can't make our own steel, where are we going to get it from? Oh, we're going to import it. That's going to cost us, isn't it? That's going to cost us. It means the manufacturers abroad will manufacture it. They'll transport it to the coast. It will go on ships. The ships will bring it over to us. All that is extra expense. Think about it, government. Think about it. On Wednesday, the Sarah Jones, she's the energy minister. If you've missed it, I did as well. Told the Business Select Committee there is a debate to be had on how we, as a country, define the importance of steel. Whether we're talking about virgin steel making, or steel more broadly. I would have thought both, but still. There's a reason why she went on. There's a reason why Russia bombed all the blast furnaces in Ukraine. Pretty much straight away they did that, because countries need steel, not just for defence, but to build their roads and their infrastructure. Yes, all our high-rise buildings are steel girders, aren't they? Asked whether the UK needs virgin steel, she said yes. Well, what a clever woman. What a clever woman. She said yes. Ben Houchen is the Tees Valley Mayor in Scunthorpe. Now, what did he have to say? He warned Britain was less safe as a result of British Steel's decision, and claimed unions had wrecked the efforts to rescue the blast plants furnaces by pushing their own unworkable plan. He said this is devastating to Britain.